Hello, you're watching TVP World Talks. I'm Jonasz Rewiński. The temperature of Czech politics has been brought to the boil by the recent clash between the country's president and its defense minister, caused by allegations of blackmail of the former by the latter. As the Eurosceptic government of Andrej Babiš, with its vow to defy the NATO 5% spending goal, is drifting further apart from President Petr Pavel, an ardent supporter of aid to Ukraine, who recently congratulated a grassroots initiative for raising over €4 million to help Kiev survive freezing blackouts, including induced by Russian attacks. We ask, what is next for Czech politics? Joining us here today is Filip Nerad, Director of Communications and Marketing at GLOBSEC. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning.
So let's talk about these blackmail allegations. How serious are they? And are they likely, perhaps, to cause some political upheaval? I mean, there is a vote of no confidence scheduled for next week over this very scandal.
It's true, but the government has a clear majority, so it's very improbable that there will be that the government will fall on this. But yeah, it's a grave problem for Czech, mainly foreign policy, because there's a big grave between Czech president and Czech foreign minister, and both are, let's say, the main actors, one of the main actors of Czech foreign policy, and now they are in a heavy fight. So that will make Czech foreign policy even more problematic to find the common approach to it as it is now, because we know, and you already mentioned it, there are differences in a view, in an opinion on foreign policy from position of president, from position of government. So now it might be even more complicated, and we can see it in the issue of rotation of new ambassadors, because the new government, the foreign minister, stopped the new rotation. More than 20 new ambassadors, among them of a new ambassador to the US, very important position. So
what is likely to happen? Is it likely that Chargé's affair will be sent instead, and that could actually affect the way the Czech government is able to pursue its foreign policy, at least in those countries where they won't have ambassadors?
Well, in the countries where we have an ambassador, he or she will stay until the problem is solved, and there will be a newcomer. And of course, in the countries where aren't, there will be a chargé d'affaires. But in the most of these countries, as far as I know, are ambassadors, so they will stay in their position until the solution of this issue.
Now, coming back to the political ramifications of that, would you say that Andrej Babiš is in a bit of a bind over this right now?
Yeah, for him it's very problematic, because on one side he wants to have a good relations with president, and on the other hand he needs support of the coalition, of his coalition partners. And foreign minister Petr Macinka is a head of one of the coalition parties, and he needs their support. So he tried to balance it, calm down the situation. He said there is nothing like blackmailing in these messages, and so on, and try to calm the situation down. Even the foreign minister Macinka calm it down, was not harsh during the yesterday's visit in Brussels, during which he threatens that he will ask General Secretary of NATO Mark Rutte not to invite Czech president to the next NATO summit, but Czech Prime Minister, which will be totally new situation for us. In the end, he didn't do it, at least what we know. So the emotions go down, but of course, still, government and the Prague Castle needs to solve it.
Just a few moments ago, we've seen the approval ratings. President Petr Pavel is enjoying a 58% approval. Trust in Parliament is substantially lower than that. Wouldn't this mean that perhaps Andrej Babiš could be tempted to try some other configuration? Would there be an option, for example, to cooperate with the president more at the expense of having a minority government, perhaps? Because these coalition partners, well, they are proving to be problematic. At least, the Motorists Party certainly is right now.
Well, that's true, but on the other hand, no other party in current Czech chamber wants to govern or at least support ANO in the minority, even in the minority government. So for him, currently, is the only solution how to have any kind of government is to have a coalition with these two minor parties, and that's the situation. And Andrej Babiš tries to play the game on this field. He knows it. He doesn't seem to be intervening much into this conflict and leave it rather on president and foreign minister to find some solution. But on the other hand, president already said that he wants to deal with this issue only with prime minister. He doesn't want to sit at one table with foreign minister, and that also shows that the relationship between Czech president and Czech foreign minister are not pretty nice.
So Andrej Babiš is saying this was not blackmail because it was made in private. Would you say that this explanation actually holds water? Would you say that this really was an example, a case of blackmail?
Well, it depends on the definition of blackmailing, but it was a very unusual way how to make pressure on president. Normally, when you want to say such a things to someone, to your political partner or opponent, you do it directly in a, let's say, one-on-one talk, and not through an advisor sending messages that can be revealed, and they were revealed. So of course, it was not something very unusual, and something that shows that for foreign minister or for the head of the motorist, the person of Filip Turek, the politician of this party, who should be the environment minister, but president refused to appoint him, is very important and is ready to do even such a steps to push him into the government, and he is ready to risk even the stability of it to have him in the government. So it's a very heavy political fight.
And just a brief reminder, can you tell us briefly why this candidate has been so contentious? What is the controversy surrounding Filip Turek?
Yeah, because there were many social media messages from him, at least from his account, that showed some Nazi content, homophobic content, and so on. So that made him very controversial. These messages, even though he said he didn't wrote it, but it was on his account. And a lot of other things that makes him untrustworthy for bigger part of Czech political society and mainly for the president. So he said he doesn't want to appoint him a minister in any kind of ministry. He should originally should be the foreign minister, but after this party moved him to the Ministry of Environmental, and even on this position, which is not so important, president refused to appoint him. So now Petr Matsinka, as the head of the party, has two seats, foreign and environmental minister.
So coming back to foreign policy, and especially matters regarding Ukraine, there has recently been a major fundraiser in the Czech Republic, about 4 million euros raised for helping the citizens of Kiev in need, as the city is literally freezing after Russian attacks have crippled the infrastructure delivering electricity and heat. Now, the organizer of this fundraiser said that this is also something of a political statement, that people participating want to show their support for Ukraine. And he said that it doesn't really make sense to protest on the streets. It makes more sense to protest with your credit cards. Would you agree that this does have a political meaning right now, given the rift between the president and the government over such issues?
No, I would say that's a rather reaction on the political stance towards Ukraine, towards the government stance towards the Ukraine, because Czech government said and declared that she doesn't want to give any money from the state budget on support of Ukraine. Even though she's ready to go on in the munition initiative for Kiev, she's not ready to spend money on it. And this was a reaction, this massive support of the normal people for Ukrainians in need, to give them a lot of money for this, to solve their energy situation, to have heating and so on. So it was a rather reaction on this new approach of the Czech government towards Ukraine, and that she's not ready to support it financially, to show not every Czech has the same opinion or the same stance, and the big part of the society is still ready to support Ukraine, to give a lot of money on its support, because we still know what is he fighting for, and that the Ukrainians are also defending us. And in this very difficult situation, when a lot of people are freezing in Ukraine, we want to help them. So that's rather a reaction on this than on this dispute between president and foreign minister.
Filip Nerad was our guest today here on TVP World. Thank you very much for joining us and for sharing your insight.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.
And I'm Jan Szrewiński. You're watching TVP World. Please stay with us for more latest news, updates and commentary.